Alright guys, I'm back with my review of this week's TNA Impact Wrestling for September 26th, 2013. And this show starts off with Dixie Carter talking to Sting backstage. He says, "Dixie, I've been trying to get in touch with you. I've been texting and tweeting and all that crap." And Dixie says, "Don't worry, Sting. I got this under control." Bully Ray comes out with Brooke Tessmacher. And he says that even though he doesn't really get along with Dixie Carter, she made a lot of great points about AJ Styles last week. So he's taking heel Dixie's side, obviously. The Aces and Eights come out, or what's left of them. Wes, Garrett, what the hell they call that guy? Nux. And Nux calls Brooke a hoe again. So Bully Ray calls them lackeys, says they better fall in line. And they have a match tonight. And if they lose the match, one of them is gone. So, I think I said this in my review of last week's show. I really feel that by Bound for Glory, it will be the end of the Aces and Eights. I think it's going to be completely done at Bound for Glory. Then backstage, Joseph Park is shaving. Eric Young comes up and says, "Oh man, you can't be shaving. If you cut yourself and bleed, you could go crazy and hurt one of the fans or something." Joseph Park, Eric Young, and ODB versus the Bromans with Gail Kim. Didn't really care about this at all. It was a comedy match. Joseph Park splashes Jesse. Eric Young hits the elbow drop on Jesse, and then ODB splashes Jesse for the win. So that was it, really. Then Austin Aries comes out to cut a promo about how last year he was headlining Bound for Glory against Jeff Hardy, and Kenny King interrupts him. This was a surprise to me. I mean, Kenny King hasn't been on TV in a long-ass time, but he did a pretty good job here with his promo. And he says last year he was the one making all the headlines. And he says that Austin Aries dressed up as Manic and screwed him out of the X Division title or something. And he says he doesn't want to fight Austin Aries tonight. But then he takes a cheap shot and tries to run away. Austin Aries says he wants a ref out here. He wants to have a match. So a ref comes out. They have the match. And it was pretty damn good. Somehow, I think it was during the commercial break, Kenny King gets busted open. I mean, this guy is bleeding all over the place. But they had a good match here, and Austin Aries wins with a brainbuster. So I don't really know if this is a feud, if this is going to continue, but I think Kenny King definitely stood out here, which is good for him. Well, first let me say Lady Tapa is coming. So they show a hype video for Lady Tapa. She was one of the winners of Gut Check. And while I'm happy they are doing something with the Knockouts division, because if Mickie James is gone and all these other girls are gone, they got to do something. And Lady Tapa does have a unique look to her, kind of like Awesome Kong, but at the same time, she was extremely green. So we'll see how well this works out for him. But Chris Saban comes up to Austin Aries backstage, and he says he created the X division, and his win over Bully Ray was more memorable than when Austin Aries cashed in on Bobby Roode. And Aries says, "Yeah, I remember that. You laid on your back for 15 minutes getting your ass kicked, and then you pulled out a hammer." That was pretty funny. And then Saban says he's going to defeat Manic tonight and become the X Division champion again. Then we see the main event Mafia. And Magnus is pissed off over what Ego did to him last week, so he's all upset, and Sting says, "Don't lose focus. We're taking on the Aces and Eights tonight. We're almost rid of these guys. And that was the reason we started this family to begin with." So I guess Main Event Mafia is still feuding with the Aces and Eights. So, I don't know. Alright, so Hulk Hogan comes out, calls out AJ Styles. AJ doesn't show, so Hogan says later on tonight he's going to have AJ in the middle of this ring, and he's going to fix all of this. Then they show a video promoting Kurt Angle's return to Bound for Glory. And then this weird hype video for some guy named Ethan. It just says Ethan, blinged out, is coming. And I had to look this up real fast. And nobody knows who this is, but it seems like the logical answer here is it's a gut check contestant. So nothing to get too excited about here. I doubt it's going to be anybody returning or anything special. So it's probably just some gut check guy. But Ethan? It's Chris Saban versus Manic. And I didn't really care for this. And it wasn't just because the finish was lame and made Saban look weak as hell. But at one point, Saban is faking a knee injury. And Manic comes over to say, hey, what's going on here? And Saban pushes Velvet Sky into Manic. We've seen that a million times. It's very predictable heel behavior. He's got a woman out there with him. She's not a heel. And he just turned heel and now he's using her. We've seen that before. That's fine. So he pushes Velvet into Manic. Manic catches her, puts her down, and then Saban takes a cheap shot, basically. Then Manic gets Saban in a submission move. And he's reaching for the ropes, and Velvet's hand is there, right under the rope. So he grabs Velvet, pulls her into the ring, and hides behind her. So instead of slowly building to this, like, hey, he's kind of treating Velvet like crap, they just went full on with this match. So now he's hiding behind her in the ring during the match. Then he pushes her aside, runs over, rolls up Manic. Manic reverses it, and still beats Saban, despite all of this. So Saban loses. He's pissed off, he attacks Manic from behind. Austin Aries runs out to make the save. He hides behind Velvet again. And I didn't really think the match was all that great to begin with, but they used the Velvet spot way too many times here, in my opinion. Ego is talking about the main event Mafia backstage, and Christopher Daniels calls Sting a dumpster fire and says that Samoa Joe is a diaper explosion. Then it's Samoa Joe, Magnus, and Sting versus Nux, Wes, and Garrett. And almost immediately, Ego runs out, they attack Magnus, beat him up, and run away. Samoa Joe makes Wes Briscoe tap out, so Wes is gone from the Aces and Eights. And I guess, he's the obvious choice because Nux is the only one who's actually standing up to Bully Ray. He's the only one you could actually believe has a chance in a real fight against Bully Ray. And Garrett Bischoff is Eric Bischoff's son, so you know his fucking ass ain't going anywhere. So Wes had to take the hit here. So Bully Ray comes out, and he says Wes Briscoe is a disgrace, and he wants his cut. And Wes refuses to give it up, so Bully tells Nux and Garrett to take it from him. They refuse, so Bully lays him out, hits him with the pile driver, and he tells Nux and Garrett that if they don't take off his cut, he's going to pile drive him again. So they reluctantly do that. And then Garrett is trying to hand it to Bully Ray, and Bully says, no, I want Nux to hand it to me. And he looks around and he thinks about it, and then he just hands it to Bully Ray. I have to say, this was pretty entertaining stuff here, but it doesn't make any damn sense. Why are these three guys, Wes, Garrett, and Nux, listening to Bully Ray at all? They're clearly not happy, so why are they still doing what he says? Why don't they just break away from Bully, make Nux the new leader, and beat his ass? Nobody in the group likes him. Why are they listening to this guy? It doesn't make any sense at all. Clearly, where they're going with this is the end of the Aces and Eights. I'm happy about that. But it makes all three of these guys, Wes, Garrett, and Nux, look really damn stupid and just completely gullible to just keep doing what Bully tells them to do. And he says they're lackeys. He doesn't give a shit about them, yet they continue to listen to him. It's just fucking stupid. Well, Hogan comes out, and he calls out AJ Styles, and he says he can't have a TNA world champion who's not under contract. So he's got to have AJ sign a contract, even though I'm pretty sure Jeff Hardy won the title when he wasn't under contract. But Storyline wise, he's got to have AJ sign this contract. So AJ signs it. Dixie Carter comes out. And she rips up the contract, tells AJ to get the hell out of her ring. AJ leaves. And then she starts going off on Hulk Hogan. Oh my god, this was so fucking bad. She says she knows Hogan can help take TNA to greater heights. They have a vision for this company. All this bullshit. She goes on. And Hogan needs to get on Team Dixie, and he's got a week to think about it. But she just babbled on and on. The crowd didn't care. She was losing them, you could tell. But she just kept going, trying to make it work. And it was just really bad. It was hard to watch. And that's how the show ended. So this was not good. This was not a good Impact here. I think the show had 4 matches. One of them was good. I can't think of anything else positive on this show. The West Briscoe stuff was entertaining, but it made the other Aces and Eights look dumb. Just not a very good show this week. So that's my review. Hope you guys liked this video. Leave your thoughts on the show in the comments, and thanks for watching.